Well, Matt, I know you often say try to avoid getting too down when we're struggling and too up when we've done well. And I guess the last week really emphasises that, because I spoke to you this time last week on the back of a defeat against Tranmere and an injury list as long as your arm. Then win at Wimbledon, victory over Oxford, get into the Papa John's knockout stage, and we're talking again over the Walsall game. Everything a little bit rosier.
Yeah, definitely in the space of 7 days, as you said. Fantastic result, right up there for me last week, in the years that I've been manager. To go to a local rival with 1,200 away support in a league game and come out with a clean sheet and 3 points is in front of that crowd. The atmosphere was superb all round, let alone from the away support, who were tremendous. So a real special day, and certainly up there in my 4 years as a manager. So to then build on that, as I say, not only the day, but like you say, with the injuries and the bodies and the makeshift team that we had out as well and squad. Enzo brilliantly playing brilliantly at right back, and Kenzio Kizzy doing a great job for us at centre half. So some top performances last week, which really set us up into a knockout game, if you like, even though it was a group game against Oxford. So the winner take all on the night against a really strong Oxford side. A lot of their first team regulars playing, and then again we made changes like we do in the competition. The hunger of the group and the minutes that we got into the players, and then the result and a clean sheet as well. It has topped off a really good 7 days for us.
That game on Tuesday night, most impressive was the way some of the younger players and possibly players playing in unfamiliar positions stood up to the mark and really let it be known that they could play there.
Yeah, the character, the desire amongst the group. We went through a tricky couple of weeks all round, with results, with injuries, with John Barden's unfortunate injury. So it went for a little nasty spell at the club, but to respond in a local derby and then back it up in an important competition for us, as I've always said, for many reasons. It's been valuable competition for us in terms of giving squad players some valuable minutes, but also to keep winning games and keeping the feel-good factor going. You want to just keep producing good results, and we've gone and got that, and the prize money as well. For a club like us, the prize money, another 10,000 for us for winning the game. So we're now into the knockout stage with further prize money at stake. Unfortunately, we couldn't manage to hold on to top spot. A late Chelsea goal means we're now second and go away in the next round. We'll be really looking forward to that next round of the competition, and hopefully we can keep progressing and see where it takes us.
Did that slightly take the edge off Tuesday night? Chelsea overtaking us in the last minute, or was the main thing about Tuesday night just to get through and then worry about everything else afterwards?
Yeah, of course it'd have been nice to win the group, because then that means you're at home in the next round. A seeded next round draw means you're guaranteed a home game, and we want to be at home because we're so strong at home and have done so well last year in the competition at home. So yes, a slight disappointment, but the focus on the whole day and night was making sure we progress through.
Now, looking ahead, tomorrow we're home to Walsall. Last season, one of the two sides did double over us almost exactly a year ago. A year ago next week, they won at Sutton. But home form's been pretty good since then, and must be looking forward to the game now in good heart.
Yeah, it's as you say, nearly a year ago since we played them at home and lost a very tight game, 1-0. I didn't think we deserved to lose on the day. But yeah, as you say, one of the only two teams who did the double over us last year, and Swindon, 2 1-0s, I think it was, against Walsall. So Mike Flynn had only just taken over a handful of games into when we lost at their place. Bazzani's getting injured in the warm-up, and during that spell of having quite a few injuries, and I think that might have been the game after Wigan. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was the Saturday after the Tuesday night at Wigan. So we were very low on bodies there. And
a highly questionable penalty as well, it has to be said.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, exactly. And the reaction from our players says everything as well. So two very tight games and not great timing with the second one. Unfortunately, come off the end of 2 bad results against them. So we'll hopefully try and be putting that right against a big club for the division, an experienced manager and some good players there. So we know it'll be a tough game, as is everyone. But since that Walsall game last season, our home form, our home in a year has been superb. I think we've only lost 3 at home in a year. that's all competitions as well. And that was Bradford towards the end of last season. And then the 2 we've had recently. So that was another plus for us at Oxford, is just to get back to winning ways at home after back-to-back defeats, which is a complete rarity against us at Gander Green Lane.
And what do we expect from Walsall tomorrow? And fairly close to us in the league. One win away from home, like us. One of the top strikers in the goal scoring charts at the moment, in Danny Johnson. Obviously going to have to be watched, but we've got some decent players.
Yeah, certainly have. Yeah, definitely. And they've got a couple of injuries, as we have, and this I feel it's very much your timing and your luck of when you play certain teams throughout the season, and they've certainly been hit with a couple of injuries recently. But then you look at their games, and we do our analysis as we always do, and it's no different when I'm watching anybody, whoever we're facing. There's such thin dividing lines in games, and certainly you can go through little spells where things might go for you, rubber green, referee's decision, bounce of a ball, and there's certainly little spells where they don't. And I'm certainly a little bit like them, probably feeling that they probably deserve a little bit more, and they would want to and expect to be a little bit higher up the division, like I want to be. So it'll be a very close and even game tomorrow, I'm sure.
And on the injury front, how's it looking after a week? Some of the players who weren't able to play at Wimbledon and against Oxford, are they likely to be involved tomorrow?
Yeah, Aaron Pierre's still struggling a little bit, but Louis John's been back in training, so that's positive news for us. And then it's really just the long-term ones. Charlie, apart from Charlie Kendall, who had a little cut in his foot, and that's why he's missed the last 2 games. But he's back in training as well. So positives on those couple. But Harry Buteman is progressing really well and starting running on Monday from his hernia operation, and he should be 2-3 weeks away. Ali Smith is progressing really well. And he might even be getting out onto the training pitches and doing some running by the end of the week and building up over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Ben Goodliffe's had some really positive news and had his brace off of his knee. So now he can really kick on with his rehab, and the specialist is really happy with where he is. And some good news with John's operation, that all went well, and we don't believe that there's another one to come. Now he's managed to get back home a few days ago, so he's just going to be resting up at home and seeing specialists throughout different periods over the coming months. So even on our long-term ones, there's some positive news, and they're all doing well as well. So it's and then with the short-term ones that we've had, a couple back in contention and a couple not yet.
And after the slightly square pegs in round holes over the last couple of games going so well, and when everybody's fit again, you're going to have a few interesting choices to make.
Yeah, that's what you want, and that's why you build your squad. And have strength in depth in every position and competition, because that breeds success, and that's what you want to make sure the players are playing at their best. And I was really pleased to see Sam Hart get a really good hour, and I thought he played really well on Tuesday night, which gives Rob good competition as well. And Rob's done so well for us. But then Rob steps into midfield, and I thought he was brilliant for an hour on Tuesday night as well. So now I've got good options, and yeah, you just need your bodies back fit and get your players injury free and fit and firing and competing for the shirt, and that certainly helps with the results.
And on Tuesday night, Roman Charles Cook was on the bench, recalled from Cray. Was that as a response to the injury situation of the last couple of weeks?
No, he was a bit unfortunate at Cray. I had a chat with Neil Smith, who we know well at Cray Wanderers there. So it was a decision we made amongst ourselves. We felt it was best that he came back to us for the next week or 2, and then I'll look to get Roman back out on loan to get regular men's football. He started off well at Cray, Roman, but broke his wrist. And then had about an illness and breathing problems for a couple of weeks. So unfortunately, the last few weeks didn't really work out for him. So he comes back into our squad. We'll work with him this week, we have, and then next week, and then we'll look to get him back out and playing some games.
And looking at tomorrow's game, home game before a couple of away trips, Northampton sort of towards the top of the table, and then a long trip to Stockport next week. So the home form tomorrow important going into those run of away games.
Yes, yeah, you just want to continue home form anyway, Tony. We bounced back with the Oxford win. We want to keep how strong we are at home and what will make such a difficult place to come for everybody. And we want to do that again tomorrow and just keep the little run we're going on and finish off with a really positive week with hopefully another win. And that's what we'll be trying to do, of course. And then your attention turns to Tuesday night away at Northampton, and then away to Stockport, which will be 2 really tough games on the road. But as I said, the majority, not 1 or 2, but the majority of our away performances have been certainly there. and I'm pleased to get our first away win, and hopefully that just gives us a springboard to give us confidence off the back of this week, and hopefully a positive result tomorrow to go into Northampton and Stockport next week.
And of course, Northampton last season was one of the games where the season really took off. First away win, I think it was the first away win of the season, and a week before the Port Vale game. It was just around that time that things were really beginning to take off.
Yeah, it was a little bit earlier on. I think that was more early October.
First week of October, first weekend of October.
First week of October. So yeah, a great performance and a great result up at Northampton last year. And I didn't realise Port Vale was so soon after. But we're certainly up and running now, and we just got to concentrate on tomorrow first. Trying to put another strong performance in, and then look forward to Northampton on Tuesday night.
And then after that, I know it's obviously on the back burner at the moment, but the next home game, a couple of weeks' time, will be in the FA Cup at home to Farnborough. What were you feeling on getting that draw? Home draw must be pleased with that.
I think any manager, you just want to be at home, and to get that's a huge bonus for us. But you certainly, as we all know, for positives or negatives at Sutton United, that there's absolutely no gimmies in this competition. And Sutton have had great cup runs in the past, and I just want to. I'm desperate to have my own stamp on that and get a cup run going myself. I haven't been too fortunate in the 3 seasons that I've been a manager, only winning one tie out of the 3 seasons. So no, hopefully we can put that right. But Farnborough got good players for any level. Sam Deering, some good players who are experienced and been around the block. And obviously we know Kenny Davis has gone there as well, someone we know really well. So they've got promotion last year. They'll be a really tough team to play against. I know their manager, and a local derby and a localish derby, and they're not too far away. They'll bring a decent away following, and it'll be a really tough game for us. And I'm just really pleased that we're at home.
And I guess Kenny, in a way, might be regretting he's gone out on loan to Aldershot, because I think that means he probably can't play in that game.
Yeah, I'd imagine he can't. Yeah, 28 days. So I don't think he will be able to play in it. But after his loan move, and I'm sure he'll be a little bit disappointed there. I'm sure he'd love to come back and play against us.
Well, it's a couple of weeks away. Yeah, it's Walsall first tomorrow. Look forward to a good game in front of a decent crowd, and wish you well. And we'll catch up with you after the game. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Cheers, Tony.